playback video, Will Smith apology. Let's get into this to see what playback have to say and Will.
Apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech. I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable.
Okay.
And I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
Now, all the people that said his behavior was acceptable, where y'all at right now?
I know, cause
I wasn't one of those people that was acceptable. It was unacceptable. Never let your emotion, never decide a decision with your emotion.
to the people out there who genuinely thought it will be okay to put your hands on a man in a public setting, why you thought that was acceptable, I don't know. Once more, I feel like if you thought it was, I understand like if you react that way, but the thing that it's also understandable, like you just sound like a Neanderthal at that point. Like I don't understand why you thought like being physical with somebody after they use
defend
words.
wife.
Yeah, like come on, you know what I'm saying? It's a joke. It's a joke in a setting where he knew the joke was
Damn, Chris Rock did not even write that.
going to come.
Right.
And on top of that, who knows if Chris Rock even wrote the joke.
He probably didn't.
Yeah, which is crazy. So like I don't understand like why y'all got that offended in honor for Will Smith and Jada, and then they later would then say Jada said I don't need no defendant.
You know what? You know the
she's
part
G.I.
that-
Jane.
She act like a alpha female. Like Will need to divorce her. Like seriously.
Pissed me off,
She's
bro.
an alpha male. She
Bro.
don't need no defendant.
She's not a male. I wish that.
Alpha female. She's an alpha female.
Yeah. Why did nobody stop him?
Nobody.
What they think he was gonna do? Dap him up, do a secret handshake on stage?
That is crazy.
But
Nobody
it's Will
stopped me.
Smith though.
Everybody
That's
watching
the
this.
reason why.
Bro, I'm talking about his wife, kids, people that
His
gave
wife
fuck
just
about
watch him
He was
doing it,
walking
get
on
up
stage
and just
in
And
the
post
award
you know
show.
what's so crazy? That's the other thing that's so bothersome. Because it's not just a bunch of outside people who was like, yeah, that's cool. It was also his kids who were saying that, oh yeah, that was cool, Dad. That's such a bad example to set for your kids. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
And he knows that, which is why he's at this point apologizing. I applaud him for at least apologizing. I would assume that you should have done it a little sooner. Also, you saying he was a little foggy, bro. You played into it when you was in
Yeah,
your
he
set.
that
Oh,
loud.
you know, so now look,
You
this
played
bugging
into
me out
it.
now. This bugging me out. Look. On this set, is there anything you noticed?
The box water?
Yes. Come on, dog.
What's that?
Jaden Smith
I
owns
know.
that.
Oh, Jay
Oh, I
Smith.
think you
That's
said
product
big,
placement.
I thought you said bigging you up.
That's
Oh.
product placement.
Yeah, for sure.
So now I feel a little insincere.
You know, that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship.
It's a good fucking guy.
Tony Rock was my man, and this is probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months replaying.
This was 3 months ago. Bro, damn. Time's going fast.
And understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she?
So I don't want to harp on it too much, but I genuinely want to ask the people out there who are watching this with us right now, like why do y'all think that is acceptable? Because
Most people don't, though.
Yeah, I don't know why though. So that's toxic. That's toxic, man. It's toxic. That was just toxic.
But it was like the immediate response from most people on the internet was,
Most of it
"Oh
was
yeah, I
women.
stand by him."
Most of it was
and
women.
also, I think a lot of them were either men who are in these relationships with these women, who I believe have just been told for whatever reason it's just acceptable to just deal with things that way, or it was a bunch of women who felt like, especially black women, that they need to be protected. I don't know why y'all think that right there was acceptable, especially to the women who try to despise toxic masculinity, and that is like literally the definition of toxic masculinity. So y'all despise it when you're not benefiting from it, but then all of a sudden when you feel like this is the idea of how you want your man to deal with things, now it's acceptable for Will Smith to just go on stage and put his hand on somebody. That does not make any sense to me at all, and it contradicts everything that the progressive woman, the strong, independent woman, I don't need no man. If you don't need a man, then why didn't you?
That's crazy. You want to say, what was it, a month after I don't need no man? All right, bro, Jada, just go divorce Will, bro, because you won real career, bro.
Why didn't you say, yo, Will,
what was the other woman Will should have married? I forgot her name. He should have married her. Jada is a fucking...
You should have let Jada go up there and slap the shit out that nigga. Why didn't you say that then? Like, everything about people applauding what Will Smith did made no sense to me. It never made any sense. It may be understandable, but to say that it was the right thing to do or to applaud what he's doing, like, I mean, he was in his emotions. He got emotional. It happens to the best of us. Apologize, move on, etc., etc. I'm not about to applaud this, man.
People hold Will Smith to a higher standard than you hold you and the people around you. And that's weird because you don't know him and what he's been through, but you know yourself and the people around you.
He should, though.
No.
He has way more to lose than the average person.
But that's not the point. It doesn't matter how much you have to lose. It's about the standard you hold yourself to, right? So, like, people kind of...
I feel like he holds his standards way too high for himself. And people hold standards for him too, way too high.
Expect perfection out of Will Smith, I think is partially due to his brand. The baby can kill 8 people next week, and if he argues self-defense, everybody forgives it and he's on tour again. But Will Smith slaps the shit out of somebody, and people act like he just did a deed that he said it was irreparable here.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, like, maybe, but it was he got bitch slapped.
Yeah.
Not... Granted, it happened in front of millions of people on main television and it was embarrassing. Yeah. But the actual act of slapping him is not irreparable at all. I've punched my friends, slapped my friends, got hit by my friends before, and we're still good friends.
But it wasn't in front of millions. I'm gonna tell you right now, you slapped me in front of a million people, boom, that would be the end of playback. That would be the end of playback.
So in my head, I'm like, let's weigh this shit out. How much good has Will Smith done versus a fucking slap? Which, if you could be honest with yourself, is his first real fuck up in his career. Not that he's been perfect in the past, but this is first real fuck up.
Yeah,
I think that
he's
people
really
are hesitant to accept this apology because they're harder on other people than they are to themselves. This guy's not perfect.
Are people hesitant to accept this?
Yes.
Yeah,
people gonna say it's staged.
People's gonna be hesitant to accept this. Yeah, give it a couple, 2 weeks or a month, they will accept it.
You did? Like, people are gonna look for reasons to invalidate what he's saying.
No, I genuinely
it does look slightly disingenuous with the Jaden Smith box water right beside him.
I think that this is genuine. I just think that the way that Will Smith goes about a lot of things, it just needs to be like everything needs to be crafted a certain way.
Yeah,
which is the reason why he got the box water.
I think Will Smith just did something really entertaining, and that's why people talked about it. In my personal opinion, if one of my friends slapped the shit out of one of my friends on a YouTube video, unpronounced, and that shit was uploaded, they might not be friends for a couple years over this shit, but there wouldn't be a huge uproar and drama. What Will Smith did was more entertaining to y'all than it was wrong to do, and that's interesting. More people were talking about a slap than real tragedies happen in the world. It's not because a slap was so devastating, it's because it was entertaining to talk about.
After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, I made a choice on my own from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids. And
Well, we was going 2 steps forward and then went 5 steps back. Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
Yo, Will, you have to understand why we people ask that question. Because originally you were laughing, nigga. You laughed at first.
Yeah,
so unless you want me to believe now you have split personalities, and you went from laughing to upset just like that. Like this is the reason why I can't take this shit serious, bro. I can't. He wants me to believe he has split personality. That's what he want me to believe. He want me to believe he went from laughing at the joke to being so upset at the joke that he was gonna walk up there and his wife had no influence on his mood swing?
for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, you know, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me, and it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. You know, it happened on Questlove's award, and it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. The work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and
I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for that. I'm human.
Yeah.
He is, but like that kind of feel like a cop out. I felt like he said that after a lot of other things. He's human.
I think for most people it would be a cop out, but I don't think it is for him.
Bro,
Yeah.
I think he
human.
genuinely believes
That he's human.
I mean, yeah. I mean, no, but I think he genuinely believes that he's trying his
He's
hardest
robot.
to never disappoint, similar to a robot. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he set the standards.
He said it stands to way too high, way too high.
I think he set his expectations of his
Expectations standards way too
lifestyle
high.
so high that I think he doesn't want to. I genuinely believe he doesn't want to disappoint me.
Yeah, I believe him.
I genuinely believe that, and I think he has to remind himself of that.
I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking, but I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Look, it's an apology. I think it was a well thought out apology, so much so that he staged it. But
Why you a stage? That's crazy.
I do believe parts of that were very sincere. I do. I'm convinced enough that was a really good apology. However, it's not up to me. Like the same way y'all said that it ain't up to Chris Rock to accept the apology. It was up to Jada. It's not up to us to know if it was a good one or not. It's up to Chris Rock. It still seems as if like he is still flustered by the concept, or just at least frustrated by the concept that Will Smith felt comfortable enough to come up there and slap him for a joke that was being told. I just don't understand why that was the case. But I do believe, beyond Will Smith, because I think that as a man of his stature and his status, he has no other choice but to take upon himself the accountability and responsibility that came along with it. And I love that he acknowledged that on a night of which that was much bigger than him, that he stole the show by that act. And I think that right there is one of the biggest things that were lost. That stage was way bigger than who Will Smith was, and he was the focal point of it. But beyond Will Smith, because it seems like as if he's willing to move on, I still just focus on the endless amount of people who thought that what he did was acceptable. And I think that shines more of a light on our perception of how men should deal with certain aspects of their life and trauma or disappointment or guilt or whatever Will Smith was dealing with in that moment. You should not be that emotional to where it results.
Always try to master your emotion and control your emotion. Because your emotion could be your downfall or your biggest fuck up.
You putting your hand on somebody when there's millions of people in front of you, there's thousands upon millions of dollars that can be risked and lost because you don't want to have a conversation, or you don't believe that a dialogue can be had, or you believe that a joke that somebody else wrote at the Academy was warranted enough for you to go up there and do what you did. That's all of that is unacceptable. Man, it's like me going to a comedy show, sitting front row, not expecting they're gonna make a fat joke. I'm be like, man, he's fucking laying into me right now. He made a Fat Albert joke at a comedy club, and I sat in the front row. Like, how dumb would that sound? Like, seriously, how dumb would that sound? And even if I got offended, I would just leave. I'll just leave, bro. I'm not about to get on stage and slap somebody for doing their job. But if you want to see the wrong way to apologize, click this video right here. She made a massive mistake, man, sending spoiled sauce and then did a horrible time.
That's the end of the video. If you make it through, thank you for your support. Make sure to hit that like. Comment down below what y'all thoughts about the apology. Subscribe to the channel. We upload every day to Mr. Inconsistent, Consistent YouTube channel. Apology out.